Welcome to Better.Do Better, presented by RX Physical Therapy, where we talk to local healthcare and fitness professionals about all things injury, recovery, health, fitness, and training. This week on the podcast, I had Mohammad Better. He's a good friend of mine. He's a coach at CrossFit TreeHouse and a big part of Alpha Fit Club. It was a great conversation. He's a great dude, and I think you're going to enjoy it. You were at Verona this morning?
I was at Verona this morning.
How many classes did you coach this morning?
3 classes at Alpha this morning.
3 at Alpha. And then you went to TreeHouse for...
Yeah, I had a private client from 9 to 10. Shortly after that, me and my partner worked out. And now I'm here.
Okay.
Here. Nice. Had a PT session with the man himself.
Hey, we're going to cut that out.
Yeah.
All right. How did you end up at Verona?
At Verona? So at Alpha in general or just Verona?
Yeah, you tell me.
So my last semester at King University, where I was studying to get my degree in exercise science, I had this one professor. His name was Matthew Manzel, and he was teaching a capstone class. So it's all about like getting you introduced to the real world and trying to get you in a career, etc. I had just got certified, and he knew about it, so he approached me. He goes, "Hey, like, are you trying to get a job? Are you looking for anything?" I was like, "Yeah, I would love to." And he told me about a buddy of his who had just opened up a gym about a month or two. So it was still fresh, and he's looking for trainers. He was like, I can connect you. I was like, absolutely, let's do it. So he connected me. He sent me his number and his email. And so I started calling the guy. Didn't answer me. Called him again, no answer. Called him for literally a week straight, every single day. Called him, emailed my professor to like, hey, your buddy's not answering. Like, what do I do? I keep calling. So it kept going on. After literally a week, finally he called back. He goes, hey, I'm doing this and that. He's like, come in on Saturday and you'll shadow me. I thought I was going to shadow. He ended up making me take class, which is fine. But, I wasn't expecting it and kind of died a little bit, but it was great. From there, we had a good vibe. We connected. We spoke a little bit after class. And then every Saturday after that for the next 6 weeks, I started like interning him, you could say, watching him, observing how he conducted the classes, how he set up for it, what was his thought process behind the business itself, like why does he have Alpha Fit Club, like what's the point, all that. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what he set out to do. I enjoyed the people there a lot. They were very welcoming. And, the rest was history from there. The rest was history. That's kind of how I got connected, stuck with them through the pandemic. And, when they built these new locations, they needed people to help run them. So kind of got put in place.
So what's your role over at Alpha?
Currently, I'm the regional head coordinator, a trainer for all corporate locations.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many do they have now?
They have 3 currently, 3 founding locations. There's some franchises opening up in the fall, which I'll be helping, set them up and stuff. But in terms of their founding locations, there's 3, and I help like run all 3, conduct meetings with the staff, onboard all the coaches, make sure they're in line, know the programming, understand how to work an Alpha Fit Club class, what's expected, check in on them, make sure everything is up to date, up to protocol. So. Yeah.
And do you write the programs for the workouts now?
I do. And excuse my raspy voice. I was coaching this morning, so it's a little messed up. But I do. So myself and Sam, who's the founder, as well as one other coach, we collaborate on it together. So we come together and kind of write it out and try to put our brains together and make a good programming.
Nice. So you also are a CrossFit coach, CrossFit athlete.
Yes, sir.
How does that kind of stuff either like get separated or integrated into what you guys are doing over at Alpha?
So it's funny. They both happen. They get integrated, but also parts of it get separated, right? So we don't incorporate, obviously, the Olympic lifts or gymnastic movements that, CrossFit has, just because we don't really have as much time either in terms of introducing new movements and explaining it. It's very quick, back-to-back classes, so the simpler the better. However, we do provide similar intensities, right? And we use similar equipment like ski ergs, assault bikes, rowers. We'll occasionally use like dumbbells for snatches, things like that. So there are parts of it that remain the same, even like rep schemes. I've thrown in some ladder schemes, some 21, 15, 9s, things like that. But we do separate that aspect of it in terms of the Olympic weightlifting, gymnastics. But I do enjoy, I think, being in CrossFit has taught me a lot in terms of how to pace, how to really like coach an athlete up and correct certain things. And I think I'm really good at like teaching the squat. That's what I've come to learn from CrossFit. So I think that's helped translate a lot in terms of this field as well, coaching people at Alpha Fit Club.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with the intensity. I took I took your class last week, and I was dying by the time I was done. And it was. I thought the organization of the class, the 6-minute stations, was pretty cool. So you can kind of like keep things moving through, and you get a lot of variety, a lot of density within the program and the session. Is each session like organized that same way, 6 stations, 6-minute intervals each time, or is there like differing structures?
So a great question. There is differing. I would say majority of the time, that's like the standard, right? You're 9 times out of 10, or most of the time you're going to see that format. But we do switch it up. There's some times where we'll do like 3-minute stations, and they'll go around the room twice instead. We'll do, instead of 6 stations, it'll be 12. So it'll be like 2 at each one, almost like subparts. And it'll also be 3 minutes, 1 loop around. We've done where we combine stations together, so we make it 3 total, and it's 12 minutes long. Yeah. So it's a bit of a long endurance, which I enjoy. I actually like those a lot. Not the members don't love it so much, but I do. But we try to switch it up. We have a lot of different ones. We do like a 5-minute with a 1-minute burnout at the end of each one. So try to keep it fresh, mix it up for people, make sure they don't get bored.
Yeah, that makes sense. You gotta keep them coming back.
Yeah.
And you also have Move with Mo, which is your personal training outlet or company, or how would you define that?
Yeah, I would say that's my personal brand. So I also provide personal training out of our studio in the back room of CrossFit TreeHouse, and I kind of just wanted a brand, something that it could fall under, that people who train with me fall under. So that's kind of what that is, Move with Mo. A lot of people use their own name in some way, so that was kind of like a catchy name that was recommended to me, actually.
It flows.
Yeah, it flows very well, right? Yeah. And I recently just teamed up with a social media team that is helping me, like, in terms of they made the logo for me, and they're helping me with like a social media content. So just trying to build that brand up and kind of put it out there a little bit more, and hopefully get more people on board.
Love that.
Yeah.
So you've got your hand in a lot of different things. It seems like you have expertise in a lot of different like styles or training modalities. So like, who is like the perfect client for you? Like, who do you really enjoy working with?
Honestly, I love training like mid-age, like fathers, mothers, like people who are either looking to get back into shape, who used to play some kind of sport back in the day, maybe haven't in a while due to family, life, job, whatever it is. I love getting those people back in because I love seeing how they are first day. Every day one of a session I have with someone, I'm like, remember today, because it won't be this way a couple months from now. Like, you're gonna feel a lot better. And granted, I just made 1 year with one of my personal clients, and he came up to me. He goes, I still remember day one. He goes, and I can't believe that this is where we are now, right? He's made so much progress since, but I enjoy that. That's the best part. When I see someone who didn't think they were struggling, couldn't find someone, tried a few people, and just never felt good about it, when they come to me and they find a good place, they feel happy, they enjoy coming, they tell me like, hey, I look forward to this. That's the best. You can't beat that.
It's such a great feeling when you know that you're helping people and like you can see their progress. I think that's the coolest thing, when you have that conversation with somebody on that first day or that introductory meeting, and they say, okay, like, these are my goals. And there's always that like hesitation. They think the goal is silly or unreachable. And then when they reach it, that like they kind of forget that it was unreachable. You kind of point it back out to them, and that look on their face, that like piece of accomplishment is always like so enjoyable.
It's huge. It's what it's all about. It's why we put in, like, you and you as well, especially with everyone you train. You're putting in a lot of time with them, a lot of thought process that goes behind the scenes before that 1 hour you spend with them, in terms of like, how can I get them better? What kind of details do I need to be thinking about? What should I cater more for them due to their injury or this or that? So when you see all that extra work you're putting in work out for them, and it got them to where they need to be, that's, hard work pays off. It's a good feeling.
Man, ain't that the truth?
It's a good feeling.
Is there like a coaching moment that you have in the back of your head that you always kind of call back as like, oh man, that was the one, that was the best thing, that was the best day, like I can't believe I helped this person do that? Or
it's tough. It's tough to pick one, but I mean, I think honestly, and I don't want to sound cheesy, but the best thing I ever heard someone tell me is when they literally came to me and they said, they were like, this is the only thing I look forward to, and I didn't enjoy it because they don't look forward to other stuff, but they said, when I come here, everything else gets better. They were like specifically, I love coming and taking your class because I feel acknowledged, I feel appreciated, and I feel good after, right? So whenever I hear that, that's better to me than anything. I love, helping someone get to a milestone, personal best, amazing. But that other part of it is, for me, more satisfying. Like when I know that they come in, they leave better than they came in, rather. Mm-hmm. That's the best part for me.
I mean, that's so cool, and I kind of agree with you. And I think what you're talking about is the personal connections that we get to make with people, and the impact that we get to have on people's days and lives outside of the gym. Mm-hmm. Like, we know that the technical skills and the technical side of things, like that stuff works, but being able to impact somebody on an emotional or like societal level or a psychological level, that is, I think, the difference between like a coach and a cheerleader.
100%. You impact their life in a big way. I mean, there's some people who come to me and they've said, like, hey, I never thought I'd be a 5 a.m.er, right? They're like, I always slept in. They're like, I never get up early, but now I want to sleep early. I want to wake up early. I want to make sure I get my workout first thing in the morning. And it's huge when you change someone's life dramatically like that. They get rid of all their bad habits. They cut out the bull crap. They get better sleep. Mm-hmm. It's a good feeling because it impacts the other parts of their life too.
Absolutely. Yeah. With my patients, I always ask them about how whatever their pains or their issues are impacting their relationships, their day to day, things like that. And when you can like make an impact on those, I mean, that's so special.
Yeah. I mean, especially what you do. I mean, like and I'm happy to say this. Like when I first came to you, I came to get help with Olympic lifting. Mm-hmm. But of course, I had a little hiccup, had that pain shooting down my leg. Dude, for a long time, I think you know this, but for a long, I didn't think it was gonna go. Mm-hmm. I really didn't. I was like, I'm gonna have to deal with this for a long time, or forever. Right. Like it started messing with my head.
Yeah, it plays tricks on you.
It does, and it even affected like, can I do certain things? Like, do I have to? It started messing with me. But coming to you, gaining the confidence, because you kept telling me you're not broken, you're fine. But also like seeing and feeling the results. Like, no, I don't have that pain. I can sit down for more than 5 minutes now without feeling like, oh God, like I gotta stand up, I gotta move. It's huge, man. It's huge. It's probably a big impact on me, I'll tell you that.
Hey, I'm happy I could do that. Thank you. Yeah. And thank you for the plug.
Of course. And I didn't get paid for that, guys. That's real. That's real.
So you coach, you train, you compete. Where would you say your like passion lies? What are you passionate about as an individual?
Helping people. Like even something, if I wasn't to do this, honestly, I'd want to do like some kind of like fundraising or just charitable, like some kind of work like that where I'm giving back in some way. Like that's what I really want to do, right? Like for me, when I think success is, one, it's being happy, of course, but if I accumulate a good wealth, which I hope to do and intend to do, I don't want to spend it all on me, right? Like I'm not looking to get nice cars, big homes. I can care less for that. I really do want to give back. I want to help people out because, I think there's a lot of people who could do a lot of good things too if they got help, and it would affect even more people. It's like a domino effect. Mm-hmm. You help one person, you can help like 20 other people. So that's like that. That's what I enjoy the most. I'm passionate about helping someone in some way. Right now it's fitness, and I love doing it that way, but it could be something different down the road. I think about that a lot.
I love that.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you do in your, I don't know even how to ask this, like, are there any things or tricks that you use as part of your coaching routine or repertoire or like toolkit to help find out like what it is that people are trying to achieve, or things that you do a little bit different to help people more than just like reps and sets in the gym?
Mm-hmm. I think it goes back to the connection you make with them. Like when you get to know someone and you get to understand why they're coming in the first place, whether it's they want to train for a competition, or it's, a mom who just had a baby and wants to get rid of the baby weight, whatever it is, or someone who, just doesn't have confidence and is looking to meet a group of people, doesn't really know anyone, just wants to get enveloped in a community. I think that aspect, like connecting with people and understanding what's their why, like what's their purpose, why did they come to the gym, right? And also what's keeping them. Like someone can sign up and it could be a good workout, but you can get a good workout really anywhere. What keeps someone there? It's the connection. If you feel happy, if you feel recognized, and you enjoy being around people, enjoy being around who you're around, you're gonna keep going. And the moment you don't, you're out. It doesn't matter how good the product is or whatever the case is, So I think, if someone wants to succeed in whatever they do, it's be a human being, be a good person, like connect with people. Don't get into the stage where you think it's just like the only thing that matters is protocols or this or that or reps and sets if you're a coach. No, like people matter, right? You're coaching people, not just a program. So like that's one thing I always try to tell my coaches too. I'm like, follow the program, yes, but also you're coaching people too. Don't just follow just the program. Remember the people, right? So I think that's the number one thing I would say.
I think that's huge. It's I was having a conversation with a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling me, man, I hate when people show up late. It like throws everything off. It's such a wrench. And I told him, I was like, yeah, like I get it from your end of things. Like it's frustrating, but that person might have dealt with traffic, or might have gets out of work at a certain time and has to rush over here, and if they get in here 5 minutes late, like that's the best that they can do. And the hour that they're working out with you might be the best hour of their entire day. And the way that you receive them in those moments is like the most important thing that you're going to do for them that day. It doesn't matter if you can coach them how to squat brilliantly. It doesn't matter if you can put an extra 5 pounds on whatever. It matters how you treat them and the experience that they have with you. And after we had that conversation, I saw his whole face change, and he was like, man, I know you're right. But when I took your class, I could kind of feel that. I saw you give each person in the class individual attention, and it was not a small room. There were a bunch of people there, and everyone got some coaching cues, everyone got some encouragement, and you knew everybody's name. It's big. It seemed like that was the first time that I was there, but it seemed like you knew a little bit of something about everybody who was there.
Yeah, you hit it on the nail. I don't think I can say it any better. It's so important. It's the most important thing, how you receive people. And it shows you care, right? That's what you want, right? You don't want to go somewhere and it's just, and you feel like it's just, okay, I'm paying you for this and that's all. You want to feel like there's a little bit more there, right? One thing, and I think I told you this when we first started working, when you would text me hey, by the way, Mo, how you feeling? How's this? Is anything getting better with this? These check-ins that you don't really have to do. I was going to see you in a couple days. Could have just asked when I saw you, but you were like, no, let me go check in, make sure. And if anything, I need to change. You showed you cared, right? And I think that's the biggest thing. I think that's how you. If you're passionate about what you do, which is the number one thing. If you enjoy what you do and you're passionate about it, then you will put that extra detail and extra attention, regardless. Whether you're doing it for free, whether you're getting paid for it, you do it because that's your character. That's what you are programmed to do, and you're never going to do it any other way. I used to train people for free back when I would. Train with George. When we first started, it was for free, but we put the same care, attention, maybe even more back then, right? But it was because we knew okay, one, we love this, so it doesn't feel like work. It's what we want to do, but also we were very focused on, we know this will pay off. Put in the groundwork now, do the dirty work, get your hands dirty now, so that hopefully you can put yourself in a better position later and continue to do that, right? But it's huge. It's huge. Those connections are huge.
Yeah, I had George on a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling us about training in the park. Were you there those days?
Yeah, I was there those days. I was the only one with him at that time.
Really?
In the very beginning, it was just me and him and a tennis ball.
Okay.
And then we got a ladder.
Okay.
And we slowly started getting little by little and he would train me. He started with just me. And then we kind of shifted. I started like helping him, and while he trained some of our athletes that we went to school with, and then it, started picking up. He started training like major athletes, like kids from college, people that played in the NFL or currently play, and it started growing. So I mean, I'm very proud of George too, for sure. Like that guy, he's come such a long way, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was with him those days in the park. That's all we had, the park.
Well, he said it was a park and a tennis ball, and that's how it all started. So I didn't realize you were there with him. I didn't realize you were his first client?
Yeah.
No way.
I was, yeah.
No, that's funny, man. And look at you guys now.
Yeah, no, we come a long way, man. All together, too. I appreciate that guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
And if I looked like him, I'd never wear a shirt either. And George, if you're listening to this, I mean it.
Yeah, man. He shouldn't even waste his money.
On shirts?
Yeah.
No, he shouldn't.
No.
He shouldn't.
There's no point.
The amount of pull-ups that guy can do.
Jeez.
Yeah. So you got the competition coming up, and by the time this episode comes out, you guys will have already gone and done it. But are you excited about that or what?
I am, and I feel better about it after today's session. So
yeah,
sure. Yeah. No, I feel good about it. I mean, look, we've been training hard, and at the end of the day, I will say this is really my first like non-open, CrossFit-esque competition, like in terms of like open and doing stuff with the gym, like going out, go somewhere else. It's my first one like that. So I'm excited to just learn, really. Like I'm going in there with the intention of putting everything I got, but I really want to just learn and see like, okay, what did I do really well, and what needs to get worked on.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got a week left. I'm gonna do whatever I can this week. Train hard, train technique more than anything, and then hopefully, shine bright on game day.
Oh, you're gonna.
Yeah.
You're definitely gonna. So, we were talking a lot about caring about people and helping people, but I think one of the things that often gets overlooked about things like CrossFit or group training like at Alpha is the idea of community. And you were telling me before that you guys have 28 people going down to this competition next week from CrossFit TreeHouse.
Yeah.
How did you guys get to a point where that many people are looking to represent your gym and compete?
Yeah, it's huge, man. I will say, I think this is the first time we've had that many all at once do the same one in the same day, right? Like, and it's really cool. I think that it goes back everyone, and you know what it is? It's funny too. And just to say this, a lot of these, so there's 28 people. I would say at least half, even if they're not training, even if they're not partnering with that person, are training together. They're all coming in at the same open gym hours and saying, and let's all hit these watts together and practice together and teach each other, help each other. Some people just show up even if they're not working out to help. And that just shows the real sense of community there. Like people care too. Just like we say we need to care, they care, right? They care about each other. They want to see. I think this is huge in fitness too. I think aside from being passionate and knowing that it's more than just like a workout, I think it's also knowing that other people can do great and that doesn't hurt you. I think a big thing is a lot of people think if someone else is doing good, that's bad for me. Like that's never the case, man. It's not like that. And I hate that like attitude and people like that. I don't associate myself with. People who love to see others win are winners.
Yes.
Those are winners.
It's not a zero-sum game.
It's not. It's like if you lose, I don't win.
Right.
But guess what? If you win, I could probably win too.
Mm-hmm.
If we're both winning, we can help each other. But if you start losing, that's not going to hurt or help me, right? It's like that's not what I want. So I don't understand why anyone would want someone else to do that. So the good thing is I think we have a good group. It's just good people finding good people. We have a good group that they do want to help their peers. Even though they're going to compete against each other in a week, they want to see the other do well. No one wants to go there and see someone do bad. No one does. So I think that's what we got going.
Yeah, it seems like it's CrossFit TreeHouse versus everybody else who's at the competition, even though it's it's a partner competition.
Yeah.
It's CrossFit TreeHouse versus anyone else who dares to show up.
Yeah, we're gonna represent. It's gonna be really cool. I'll tell you what too. It'll give a lot of people. It'll make a lot of people feel good about doing the competition who've never competed before.
Right.
Because it'll just feel like a class now.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I'm with my group and I'm gonna work out
with my friends,
like I always do.
Yep. There's a few people that haven't been doing CrossFit for very long who are jumping in, right?
There's someone who I know, she told me the other day, she goes, yeah, I've been doing CrossFit for 2 or 3 months. and she's doing a competition like this, RX as well too. So
yeah,
it's big.
I think I know who you're talking about, and she's a badass, and I can't wait to find out how she does.
Yeah,
and I think it's going to be awesome.
Agreed.
So I'm excited. I can't wait to see how everybody does. How everybody finishes up and competes, and more importantly, how they feel about how they did, how they competed, how they finished.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the coolest thing, you guys are big on social media, and you guys post a lot about your training and what's going on at the gym, and I love it. I'm curious to see how when people find out about what they could have done better in the training,
mm-hmm.
how that translates into like their next training block and things like that.
Agreed.
I think that's going to be really cool to see the bounce back. Not that anyone's going to fail, but like the next phase of growth.
100%. Yeah.
I think that's going to be kind of cool. So one thing I always like to ask, what do you wish people knew about the fitness industry, about what you do or how you do it?
That's a great question. So the first thing, one thing that I would love for people to know is that about the fitness industry is there's a lot of fluff. There is a lot of fluff out there, a lot of bull, right? Don't believe anything and everything you see online, because a lot of it is just people's either opinion or people just putting stuff out there that they saw but didn't actually research and understand. So, and I don't think all of it's bad intention. I'm not saying that, but I will say, like, don't believe every single thing you see. Just like anything else, right? Like if you are sick, you go to a doctor and get their professional opinion. Go seek a professional if you're looking to improve in whatever it is. If you need nutrition advice, go to a nutritionist, a registered dietitian, right? If you want to really improve your training, go to a professional in that field. Like if you want to become a better Olympic lifter, go to an Olympic lifting coach. If you want to become a better CrossFitter, join a good CrossFit gym, whatever the case is. Like you seek a professional's help. So I think that's a huge thing. I would want anybody who is in the fitness industry or is into fitness and doesn't know anything about it to know that there's a lot of fluff, there's a lot of lies out there, a lot of bullshit. So be on the lookout, right? Like make sure you do your own research and go seek a professional so that you don't hurt yourself, right?
How would you do you have any tips for people to like weed out the nonsense?
I think it goes to whatever you read or see, like go look it up. Go do your own research. Like don't ever be a blind follower. And that goes for really anything. I tell everybody that. I was like, listen to what someone says. Take it in. But then go do your own research and figure it out. If it was good advice, if it came from a good source, if it was, and if not, you can even come back and be like, hey, by the way, like this actually wasn't that, and you can help and correct them, because it doesn't, for the most part, hopefully they won't take it the wrong way. They'll be like, oh, wow, is that right? Thank you, and now it's a learning moment for both of you. So I would say whatever you see, whatever you take it in, but don't just believe it right away. Go do your own research, just like hopefully you would do anything else, and find out, what's the truth. Once you do, great. Either report back or, take it and run with it now. That's what I would say. I
love that. And if anybody, when you bring them back facts, if they get defensive, I think that's a pretty huge red flag.
Big red flag. Very big red flag.
Definitely be on the lookout for something like that.
Yes. And if someone can't take the truth, right? Like if you come back and you tell them like, no, this is a fact, and they get angry with you, it's a huge red flag. Yeah. If they take it in and they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing. Good person.
Yep, green flag.
Green.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
Keep going. Well, Mo, thank you so much. It's been super insightful. Those were great answers to a lot of great questions, and I think this is going to be a fun one for people to listen to. But if anybody wants to learn more about, Move with Mo, Alpha, or TreeHouse, or anything like that, how can they get in touch with you? Where can they find you? How can they work with you?
So first and foremost, thank you for having me on. I'm very honored to be on this with you. Appreciate your time always, that. But to answer your question, anyone who wants to reach out to me can follow me on Instagram at movewithmo_3 underscores. So Move with Mo, M-O at the end, no E, 3 underscores. Follow me on Instagram, shoot me a DM, I can get back to you. You can also go to my website, www.movewithmobetter.com, and you can contact me there. My email contact information is there, as well as the information on how to go to TreeHouse or Alpha if you're looking for either one. So if you're looking for any of that stuff, please feel free to reach out, and any Instagram or my website.
Cool, Mo. Thank you so much for coming on. Everybody, thank you for listening. See you later.